aka I, the Little Crafter, additional information about arts, crafts, and everything in between, and the Little Crafter Show, which is on YouTube, can be found on my website, EileenTheLittleCrafter.com. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to actually be reflecting on my art journal, my mixed media art journal. As you guys know, I host a weekly, I try to host a weekly show segment on my show. That's the word. I try to hold a weekly segment called Mixed Media Monday, and it's kind of been hard and fun, and just something that I really enjoy. So yeah, so I'm almost finished with this art journal, and I kind of wanted to reflect and share some of my interesting tips, tricks, and ideas, and just a reflection of how much fun I've had doing this labor of love. Okay, so basically, it is a 5x8 mixed media book, so the pages are kept the same. I actually did a iCAD before this, and the iCAD is just an what does the iCAD stand for? Index Cards Daily. It's a challenge by oh my goodness, I forget the lady's name. Sorry about that. Oh, I'm horrible with names. But I'll put the link, whatever, if I can find it, about the iCads. And she hosts a daily challenge, around a certain time a month or whatever, or yeah. Just like the daily marker challenge, they have that as well. But anyways, okay, losing track over here. And I did an actual coffee cup. I actually drew it out or whatever the case may be, and it came out really beautiful. I love the way it looked, and I kind of, me, I love my coffee, and I basically used some mixed media paper. I think it was leftover scraps from what is that? Graphic 45 paper, an older line, and I think also I used, what else that, hypo paints, and I cut everything out and painted everything, and I glued it on and made the sign, and that was it. Just right, that's how it went together. The reason why I used the cardboard is because I actually got inspired from an album that I made. I took a class from Donna Zalazar, and she uses a lot of corrugated board and in her work. I don't know if she does it now, but she was demonstrating how to use that corrugated board, and it was just amazing. I loved it, and I thought that this would be perfect for what I wanted to accomplish in my book. It was just a package, and I kept on looking at it. I was like, this would make good covers. Should I do a mixed media book? Should I do another mini album? So I turned it into a mixed media book, and I did the insides. I used some type of, I don't remember if it's some type of texture paste or just some medium, not gel medium, I think it was just texture paste, and I just used the stencil, and I love the texture, and I used a light brushing of, what was that, teal paint. I remember adding some, what is that, tissue paper, Timbals tissue paper. Love tissue paper, especially love what the design of it, this particular one. I don't even know if they still make it, but I love text. I love using text on my work, and I love vintage books. So yeah, so I used that, and it just came together so nicely. But I didn't do it on camera. So I literally had to sit there and explain to everybody, and I'm sure that video was probably extremely boring. And then I just went on from there, and I tried each week to share with you the new items that I use. Like, I never really used a lot of paints, acrylic paints. I didn't understand the difference between professional and student grade. Even though I kind of like them both, I think that they have good, texture, quality, paint, um, even though I know that they say that there's a difference, I haven't really been able to see the difference as of yet. Maybe I need to work with them more, but I like them both. I do know that student grade is a lot cheaper than professional, and I bought the case. I think it was like 100 and something, and it was the little tubes that they sell on Michaels in a box, and I bought that. And that was like, oh my god, was that like 30 or $50, something like that? It was really, I mean, it wasn't highly expensive, but they would just look at me like, well, all right, if that's what you want to buy. Like, he just like, um, and the tubes, because the student grades don't come in like, like they come in not in a pack, and they come separately. So it's like, okay, which ones do you really want, and like what colors? And I think that was another reason why I took Julie Faison Balzer's class about the color wheel and how to mix colors, how to make your own color wheel, which I never did, and I lost the password to that class, so it stinks that I can't. But I probably will, take another class, whether it's online or maybe even look for a class that's, available here in Brooklyn. I been thinking about that, and sorry about that. I had to take a sip of coffee. Love my coffee. Anyways, because I drink it all day, every day. Pretty much, I gotta stop. Alright, so I got that, and I still use, every now and again, I use the tubes or whatever. So, like I said, I'm thinking about taking a class. Mixed media was not my first, choice. Like, I've looked at mixed media projects before, and everything was junk. Like, how is this art? Then I realized over time that there's different forms of art. There's fine art, there's abstract, there's mixed media, there's this, there's that, realism, and I think that falls under fine art, but I'm not 100% sure because I'm not that, good with art. Oh, excuse me. Whew. Anyways, so I've watched a lot of different artists. I actually was able to see a piece in the museum, and I remember that it looked, and don't quote me on this one, it kind of looked like that piece that Susan Kazmaier had in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I don't remember if that's the same piece or was it something different, but I looked at it and I thought to myself, well, who's going to wear that? And like, for me, I'm thinking the pencils, I'm like, kids could really use those pencils. Like, we could use that for school. So it was just kind of something when I was young, that's what popped into my head. I don't know. Because we all have this perception of what jewelry is supposed to look like. And to me, that was not jewelry. That was just, I don't know, I guess in my head when I was young, garbage. Like, it's just, what about that is art? What about that is... And I kind of feel like as I gotten older and as I'm starting to look at my own work, I don't consider it art. I consider it playing. I consider it expressing myself. I consider it having fun. I guess playing and having fun are the same things, but just, getting... I don't know, I guess, I kind of feel like it's like I've actually took art therapy before, and it's pretty interesting. You're not supposed to talk, you're supposed to draw, I guess we talk, like what do you feel, like or she gives you or the therapist gives you a cue of, like how you feeling today or something about, this or that, draw me a picture. And so I'm so used to talking, and she's like, oh, maybe it's, something that's really, I need to talk about it afterwards, and then the session ends. But I kind of feel like that never really left me. Like, even though I'm talking to you guys, I'm still kind of healing or expressing my inner self in my work, and it's just really freeing, and it's really fun, and I just really enjoy myself. And some of these things, some of the pages I'm not really happy with. Some of them I just pick up like on a whim. I've had days where I'm like, I am not gonna do this, and then I wind up going downstairs, and I've had the best session, the best video of my life or session for myself. And then there are days where I'm like, oh, I'm so excited to go down. I go down, and it's the cruddiest page, and I'm like, ugh, I don't like the way this came out. But you know what? I'm glad that I did it. Um, and so it's kind of bittersweet and sad that it's almost ending. That this book is almost done. It means so much to me. I've learned so much about myself, about the materials. Um, I've used a lot of different things completely. I love working with gesso. I love using heavy body gesso because I love the texture. Black gesso is always so fun to work with, and a bit challenging. My favorite was Claudia Palma, but that line is discontinued. So I may pick up one day a thing of what is that? Either Liquitex or Golden Black Gesso. I don't discriminate between gesso. I just love the heavy body stuff. I love the texture of it. Modeling paste is always fun to work with. It's just a pain in the butt to clean. And you want to clean it immediately right after you use it, because it will dry hard as a rock, and it's a pain in the butt to get off. I think always trying to make sure you clean your brushes. I'm not getting better at that. I actually need to get better on that. I know that there was this thing where I don't know if it was just for water paint or for cleaning your brushes. There was like this tabletop machine that I saw, like a water fountain type of thing. I don't know, but I gotta get better at cleaning my brushes. I love using cosmetic sponges. They're cheap and they're durable and so easy to work with. I'm just kind of disappointed that I never really got into the pastels that I wanted to. I wanted to get into the pastels, and I forgot the name of the pastels that I wanted to get into. I only bought one set and never really used it. And maybe, next whatchamacallit, I'm definitely going to try and start getting into that. I even bought the fixatives so that the chalk won't come up. So I definitely have to use that. I love working with glass bead gel. It's so fun, and because it really picks up the colors of the paint in different shades. And if you hold it to the light a little bit, if you tilt it this way, it looks different. If you tilt it that way, it's just really cool. I love using it with like scenes for, like, let's see, a snowflake or something like that. I did this really, and the blue in the background looks so pretty, and I use that with my what is that? Catalyst. It's kind of like a brush, but it's rubber and it has like different edge forms to it. Actually, you can even but you can't use if you're going to use it for art and want to set for, like, let's say, your baking goods. That is highly recommended. They're silicone, but they could be used for artwork, and they can use also for baking. So that's pretty cool. And but for me, they'll be for or mixed media work. I love working with high flow. It's not very it's translucent. It's not opaque. It's not very opaque. But the more you add to it, the more opaque it becomes. Um, and I love that you can see the different layers underneath. So that's always cool. It's good for dripping. You can use it in um, markers. You can use it in your airbrush. It kind of has the properties of airbrush paint. It's really cool. It's one of my favorites, and I'm don't know if it came in any bigger bottles. That's my only problem, and I want to get more colors for that. I keep saying that, but I never go back and pick up some. I love using stencils. I have a bunch of different stencils, and I love what the madam. You want to say hi to the people? Huh, Jade? I mean, princess. Sorry, wrong cat. Wrong cat. Anyways, I'm busy here, girl. So yeah, so I gotta pet her to keep her happy. She's been like, mommy, mommy. Anyways, what I want to say was that it has been, like I said, I love using stencils. I love looking at different stencils from different companies. Crafted Companions. I got stencils from, what is that? Stencil Girl. Prima had some pretty good stencils that I liked, but I lost those. I definitely lost those. I don't know what. If I don't know. Anyways, or I think maybe I broke one. That's what it was. And they had like a really good wall stencil that I love that had like the actual wall part, and then they had like the interior brick, like the mortar part of it, so you can do it two different colors. That was my favorite. I love clock stencils. I love stencils like with roads, cars, skulls, steampunk stencils. I like kind of girly stencils like leaves and flowers. I mean, I don't think that's girly, but some people might. I like grungy stencils. I love grungy things. I love my city, and the city has like this soft and hard quality to it that I love to use in my work. I think that reflects a lot in what I do and work in my mixed media stuff. I'm really I like to reflect the seasons. Like I channel like fall, even though everybody and their mother is basically already skipping to Christmas, and I'm like, no, I'm working on my leaves and doing different things, and like this week I did this background, and I don't know, for some strange reason, the first time I used a stencil and I was using the stone effects from Artology, I actually wanted to use the stencils first because I wanted a big bold statement for the but I wound up using the what is this what were those distress inks. So I used the distress inks in last week's page, but for this week's page I actually just took one leaf and I used the stone effects from Artology, and I have this one called lava, and it's like a black gritty paste. I love it. I just wish it came in a bigger bottle. It is so amazing. Love it. And I don't have my palette knife. I don't know where my palette knife went to. It left me. And so I just used a little bit and patted it in with my fingers, and I loved it. I mean, I wasn't really happy with too much of the background, but and then once I got the frame on there and I kind of mixed in and blend the colors, using some of the colors and the gesso, I was like, oh wow, this is a really, like, I just was so happy. And that was the day I felt like I was literally dragging myself down the stairs, and it just was so, I've been down there while I'm sick trying to work on and telling everybody I'm sorry if you hear me sneezing, runny nose, like, I am so sorry. But it has just been such a fun experience, like, and learning how to use all these products and brushes, and it's just been so fun and so creative that it makes me really happy. And if you guys have never tried mixed media before, and you're a card maker, or if you're just a scrapbooker, you can use those materials and you can build upon that. Like, I still use myself for crafting. Like, I use my scrapbooking paper. I'll use my inks, I'll my embossing powders, like I'll use my sprays, whatever. And for my cards and for my cards and for my what else? Cards, home decor or scrapbooking pages, I will use some of my supplies that I have for just mixed media. I will cross it over and use that so that it can, why buy just something, oh, you can't use it, you can only use it for this. I like things that I can interchange because I like to mix and mingle. Like, I love the fact that if I can use, like, like this week, the stencil that I'm using it is actually a recollection scrapbooking paper, cardstock, excuse me, it's cardstock, and that was just a cutout from some, what is that, a birthday card that I was making, and I'm probably going to wind up using that stencil and throwing it onto one of the pages soon and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I have another idea for using, and I know you probably, if you do watch my videos and are sick of leaves, I'm sorry. I'm in the mood to make leaves. I'm going to use up these scraps. And so I have like a pile of paper. Sometimes I'll use them for whatever, and sometimes I'm like, you know what, I'm going to use this for my mixed media work. So it's been really fun, and I'm just really enjoying myself. And if you ever get a chance to take some classes, go to a museum and look at some work, or just even try it one day for yourself, you guys will see what I'm talking about. It's really fun, it's very easy, it's very it's like a relaxed thing. Like, if you're sad, you can, do a sad thing. If you're happy, you can make, like a happy page. If you're in the middle of snow, you can do something about that, or winter, fall, whatever is in your head or affecting you, or you bring it out on that page. And it doesn't matter whether or not if it's perfect or not, it's the process. And then you can realize, okay, well, if I would have done this, maybe it would have turned out the way, or next time I won't use so much of this, or next time I won't do that, use that, or I won't use this no more in this particular style because it'll fit better for this style. You kind of get a sense of that. The more you do it, the more you, and sometimes it has a life of its own. I feel sometimes the items that you use have a life of its own, and sometimes it doesn't turn out the way you envision in your head. Sometimes it's like, ugh, it's a hot mess, and you can just so over it. I don't. I'm like, okay, leave it. It's done. As a kind of reminder of, okay, like, what could I have done differently, or, hey, I'm gonna leave it alone. Or sometimes I'm looking at it and I go, wow, this came out better than what I expected. Like, whoa. So it's been a real fun ride, and I am so super excited. I don't know if I will be continuing Mixed Media Monday. I think come January, I may have to take a good look at what I want to do. I may, say, okay, I'm going to do one particular segment. I've done a mixed media for a while now. Maybe I may bring it back soon. I promise that. I may, every now and again bring it in if I have the feeling to do it. I may just sit down and say, you know what, I really want to dedicate this year to scrapbooking, and get back into scrapbooking, and see, how I've been missing it, and use the supplies in terms of what I've been saying that I've been stockpiling, and saying that I'm going to start. So maybe this will be the year that I may take a month off for scrapbooking. For a month off for scrapbooking, probably go back to making mixed media, and we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to do it on a Tuesday or Thursday, but I will figure that one out as I come along for the new year. I'm not saying that it's going to go away completely, but I think that I'm just going to I have journals that I still want to finish. So I think, like I said, I think in January I think I may cut that off. and then just go with scrapbooking for about a month, and then we'll put back the mixed media work. So so it's not gonna, and every now and again, I mean, it may come up, it may definitely come up. Or maybe it may drop down on next month. Because I may have to do some Christmas cards. I really don't want to start my Christmas cards. I feel like it's way too early. Like after the turkey. Maybe definitely after the turkey. I definitely may have to buckle down, and I have some gifts that I want to make and stuff like that. So, yeah. But I will definitely keep you guys posted. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. If you have enjoyed this, whether you are listening on speaker, whether you're listening it to wherever you are, please hit that like button, whether it's a little heart or a thumbs up or a star, whatever it is. I would greatly appreciate it. If you want to email me for comments or questions, please email me. My email address is eileen@eileenlittlecroft.com. Thank you for listening, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.